Hello and welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is Malbeefance for Coastal Virginia Esports, and we are back in Strategic Command World War I, where I am playing the Central Powers against a computer-controlled triple entente. I know it's been a little while since the last video, so very quickly where we are in the war. It is the start of 1915. The Central Powers forces, mainly the Germans, are advancing on the Eastern Front over here. And the Russians are in a bit of difficulty with a large number of forces in danger of being cut off in Poland. The Austrians are doing quite well for themselves down here in Galicia. They have managed to blunt the Russian offensive into western Galicia and are holding the line, and are even beginning to assist with the encirclement of Russian forces. Over on the Western Front, things are heating up. The computer-controlled French forces have invaded Belgium and have overrun most of the country. And I know that historically something like that probably would have never happened, but as I've mentioned in other episodes, this is a gaming event programmed in to give the computer an opportunity to expand the Western Front and give the computer a fighting chance against a human opponent. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the French and British forces invaded Belgium in winter, and that slowed down their advance, and it allowed me to hold on to Liege and the Ardennes Forest, which gives me a very good defensive position, blunting that Entente offensive. The downside to this is that the fact that the Western powers have made this offensive means that they are ready to bring the fight to me. So time is no longer on my side. Out in the North Sea, I attempted to get some of my submarines around England to go ahead and interfere with supplies going to Russia and coming into the UK. Unfortunately, we ran into a bunch of mines up here where the North Sea enters into the Norwegian Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. That has created a response where a rather large British anti-submarine force of destroyers and light cruisers came out to engage my submarines, and I responded with as much of the German high seas fleet as was available. And now I'm basically trying to get them back home before heavy elements of the British Grand Fleet are able to engage them. On the other fronts, the Italians are agitating for war, so I'm going to need to start deploying forces in the Alps in order to blunt that offensive once it comes. Right now, Italy is still neutral, but that won't last long. Down in Serbia, the Austrians have been able to make a little bit of an advance. I haven't been putting a lot of effort into taking Serbia out because I've been focusing on Russia first. Russia, Russia, Russia. With the Ottomans, I've been able to get some forces up along the Suez Canal in order to hold that choke point, and I'm slowly getting forces down back into Kuwait in order to blunt any potential offensive that the Dominions might attempt there. The Caucasus front between the Ottomans and the Russians has been it's been difficult getting a solid defensive line here because the Ottomans are dealing with a typhoid epidemic. And then also I haven't been able to fully mobilize the Turkish Navy. Basically what it boils down to is the Ottomans have got a lot of priorities but not a lot of resources. So I have to pick and choose what my priorities are going to be. And I've been putting a lot of resources into shoring up the Caucasus Mountains defense. And that will continue to be my priority with the Turks until I'm able to stabilize things along the front. Okay, so that's where we are at the end of this turn. There is one thing that I forgot to do last time, and it's simply to go ahead and move these 2 units. I need to get them up in defensive positions, and then move this headquarters a little closer so that he can cover more units. Oh, excuse me. All right, so that gets us all caught up. And so now I'm going to go ahead and advance the turn. And we'll see how the computer responds. So there it is again. Italian nationalists are calling for Italy to enter the war. Canadian Expeditionary Force completes training. So they'll be on their way to the front soon. Workers on the Clyde strike over conditions. Basically what that's doing is it's reducing the number of production points that the UK is getting for the Clyde. Entente naval units blockade from Scotland. Dozens are killed when Indian soldiers mutiny in Singapore. This is an actual historical event. Pro-German Boer revolt in South Africa is crushed. Again, this is a historical event. It's scripted into the game. D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation is released at the cinema. This is a very controversial film that was released about this time. I won't get into the details. If you want to, go ahead and check the film out. It is very controversial, especially here in America. Scientists report, this is for Austria, scientists report progress in logistics from 50% to 73%. So we ought to see a breakthrough there in a couple of turns. There is your ledger sheet for the up and coming turn. Now calculating supply for the Entente forces. And so there are some British forces advancing in Belgium. And now the computer's thinking about what it wants to do. Oh, one of their naval units has hit my mines. Russian forces redeploying. So now are we going to see an exodus from Poland, or are they going to try and hold that bad position? Now, from my experience playing as the other side, the Russians do have a lot of units available to them, but they don't have enough units to be everywhere at once. So the computer has got to decide where it wants to prioritize its Russian forces. And it looks like they're going to try and hold that central front position. So now they've got a pre-dreadnought off of Trebizond. Now here come the offensives in the west. First the air, now the British are attacking. And so much for that Belgian garrison. And the Russians attacking along the Caucasus, trying to take advantage of their superiority. Now this is actually a continuation of the winter offensives. We're just coming into February. This offensive has been going on since December. The weather has cleared a little bit, and now we've just got freezing rain instead of snow and ice. Not sure if that's any better. Now forces are trying to fill in the gaps. And the computer is reorganizing. So my folks are spotting that submarine was attacked. Smart move. Dive to survive, as Gaming with the Colonel would say. Now he was trying to retreat, but he didn't get far. And here come the rest of the destroyers, because they know my submarines are still out there. I really do get frustrated when the computer is smart enough to withdraw their cavalry units from the front line, as they would have been easy kills. But it just goes to show the amount of programming that's gone into the computer program for the game. Italian nationalists call for Italy to enter the war again. Swarms of locusts wreak havoc around Jerusalem. Again, this is a historical event. Prime Minister Karl von Sturck unveils the warrior in iron in Why would anybody build this giant statue made out of iron? And then it's a knight in armor at that. But they did it. I mean, they're in the middle of a war, and they build this giant statue made out of iron that could have been useful someplace else. The Yeeps detachment has been destroyed, or wipes, depending on what country you're from, is how that's pronounced. So there's a summary of the events. All right, so new units for Germany. All right, let's put the detachment in the right place this time. He goes there. 2nd German Artillery, I'm going to need that. And new Austrian units. We got a submarine. Where do I want to deploy him? Let's go here. And now these detachments that I ordered up. So I'd like to use these guys to help move down the Adriatic coast, but with Italy moving for war, I am going to need them as blocking forces here in the Alps until I can get stronger units up there. And finally, all right, the Austrian artillery. So I'm going to need that to really start making advances here in Serbia. All right, so that is it for the new forces. So let's see who we got to reinforce. Get this guy out of here. Get him his elite reinforcements. All right, everybody's dug in here. Yep, everybody's dug in. So I'm still playing defense on the Western Front. Again, this has everything to do with Russia first. Move him. Okay, now I'm going to have to actually operate him. So this is rail movement. And you got to pay for that. Some games you have so many points that you can use to go ahead and do rail movement. In this game, it is you pay production points for it. All right, let's get these guys out of here. They will not last long there in Antwerp. Entrench. Hang on a second, let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, yep. So I learned something about entrenchment talking with one of the devs or back email, um, texting back and forth over Steam. So you can see here, you can see here the fixed fortifications around certain locations. And I learned that if the capital, regardless of what country it is, if a capital moves into one of these locations where there are fixed fortifications, that defensive bonus is no longer available. And you're actually going to have to entrench any units that are there. You're going to have to actually tell them to entrench. So that's a game mechanic. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I don't remember seeing that in the rules manual. So if there are any of you that have been playing this game and you've encountered that problem with your defenses in these areas not functioning like they should, that might be the problem. You're forgetting that you have to tell, or you didn't know that you have to tell the unit to go ahead and entrench because the um, capital is at that location now. All right, so we're going to try and push through the blockade here again with these guys. But I got to remember there's mines up here, so I got to watch out for them. And there they are. Ran right through them. Good job. All right. So he's still got plenty of supplies, so I'm going to try and get through here anyway. All right. Go after that light cruiser. And then work my way around. Now I know those destroyers are probably still up here, so there's no point in trying to push through this direction. So I'm going to go around. Because my submarine here hit those mines, they know somebody's in this area, so they're going to come out here and try and find him. So I know it's a gamble bringing that submarine up there, but I got to get these subs out and start interdicting supplies going to Russia. So he's a little bit more damaged than I want to take a chance of having him go out there. Alright, is there anything I can do? Nope. Alright, so he can come out. That dreadnought can come out. And bring that sub up to catch up with the rest. Alright, now take a chance here. Bag myself a light cruiser. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and form up the fleet. So I'm going to try and get all these ships into a block. I mean, I can't... Hang on. We'll move him. There we go. Okay. I can't move the Kaiser Wilhelm II any further. He's used all of his movement for this turn, and I don't want to leave him out there hanging. I know I'm pretty much ahead of the heavy Grand Fleet elements, so I'll go ahead and I'll bring the High Seas Fleet together here, and if anybody's still trying to chase down my ships, if they come this way, hopefully it'll be lighter elements and I'll get some easy kills. So I've got the destroyers and the light cruisers covering for the dreadnoughts. And then the battle cruisers and the armored cruisers also just trying to cover for the more expensive ships. So I know it's not much of a fleet, but I'm hoping that they'll only come at it with destroyers and light cruisers, maybe the occasional heavy cruiser. Or it's World War I, so they would be armored cruisers or battle cruisers. The term heavy cruiser hasn't come into fashion yet. Alright, so get him fully repaired, and we will go ahead and do some scouting and see if we can do some economic damage with the Zeppelins. And nope, we did some scouting, but all we managed to do is damage our Zeppelins. Alright, let's see if there's anything along here. Okay, so that's not bad odds. Yes, you did hear me say that. 2 to 3 is not bad odds when you figure I've got other units backing him up. Yeah, there's no way we're going to go after Verdun just yet. Alright, so there really isn't anything, any opportunities going on there. Alright, nothing down here. Alright. Now I could advance into this hex, but I'd rather go ahead and reinforce these guys, get them ready for the upcoming attack on Belgrade. Alright. So now I wonder what mines got hit. I'm guessing these guys out here. Now I'm going to need him to help defend Gallipoli. Alright, back over here. Now I can pull him back. I got to force march him in order to get him up there, but at least he's in a prepared position. Alright, I'm not going to be able to reinforce him. I can get him though. So yeah, I know it's going to seem kind of boring, but I am playing defense down here on the Caucasus front. It is. It's foolish to go ahead and attack at this time. I mean, I could advance into some of these empty hexes, but I wouldn't have enough movement points left to get into a good entrenchment defensive position. So I would just be hanging those guys out there. Now that said, I might try and move on to Mount Ararat anyway. Okay, nope. Alright, so let's see where we're at down here. And nope, he can't entrench, but I can start cutting him off. Alright. So yeah, so it looks like the only thing that the UK's got down here right now are these 2 garrison units, which is good. Left to their own devices, if I didn't get troops down here, the computer is smart enough to go ahead and get more forces here and start marching on Baghdad. Now I could use rail movement to get these guys down into these locations, but I'm trying to husband the production points, trying to save them as much as I can so that I can use them to get units up to full strength. Alright. See if I got enough. Nope. How about for the destroyer? Yeah, we got some. Alright, that's about it for the Turks. They've used up pretty much all of their production points. Alright, so I'm going to save the Eastern Front for last, because that's where all the action is right now. So I don't see any Austrian units. Yeah, here we go. Here's some that need to be reinforced. But would I rather attack first? Don't really have good odds against that guy. Who is that? Russian 16th Corps. So I really don't have good odds against him with the Austrian units. Now the German units, on the other hand, they've got some decent odds against the, what is that, Russian 42nd Corps. So, which will help line me up for an eventual attack on Warsaw. So, how much? Okay, they've got 7 shots. Alright. So there's nothing I can do with him at the moment. I got to get him closer to Warsaw. So, alright, so 2 to 3, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Alright, where is my air unit? There he is. Okay, so can he reach? No, he can't. Bummer. Alright. Well, I'm not going to wait another turn. I'm going to take advantage of the good weather. Alright, move up. Whoops. Oh, that was a meeting engagement. Okay, but he didn't take too much damage. Alright. Okay, that was just a mistake on my part. I should have known there was going to be a unit here. Alright, 1 to 3. He attacked. Alright, so let's go ahead and entrench him. Alright, is there anything I can do up here to expand the line? Alright, I need to complete this encirclement. But I don't have a lot of forces to really make it strong. So let's do this. Now, can he? Yes, he can. Awesome. He can entrench. There we go, like that. Oh, yes. Awesome. So advance him. Dig in. That allows me to bring him down. Swap these guys out. Did he attack? No, he is not attacked. Alright, 1 to 4, 2 to 1, 2 to 2. And he is within scout range. Alright, this might not be a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let's scout him out. That'll give my attackers a little bit of a bonus. So did we get... Oh, 4 and no damage. Awesome. So he's still 2 to 2. He's 2 to 3. Oh, and he took 4. Awesome. And boom. Fantastic. Can he advance? Yes, he can. And that gives him the river for defense. Awesome. Now, not the smartest thing to do, but it completes the encirclement. But it leaves a gap here that I can't fill just yet. It's all right. I really ought to bring him here. No, we'll stay where we're at. Let's see if we got anything we can do. 1 to 3, and he's low on supplies. 1 to 2. Alright, let's do some damage. We might not be able to advance, but... Awesome. It's another unit down. Alright, reinforce those guys. Alright. So remember, it's all about the morale. It's all about driving down national morale, and completely wiping out a unit goes ahead. Not only does it drive down morale for the nation that lost the unit, but it also adds morale to the nation that wound up wiping the unit out. And that is the key to victory of the game. And yes, taking territory also causes morale loss and morale gain, but you don't have to take territory. You can just wipe out a whole bunch of units. Alright, I don't want to move him in there because I don't know if there's something here. But I will do this. That way he can only get hit from one side instead of multiple sides. Alright. Okay, so that pretty much does it for the combat portion, because I really don't want to move ships at the moment. Not any of the Austrian ones anyway. I still want to finish mobilizing these guys, and I'm going to put points to that, but I want to check research first. I want to see where we are with that. So we got to put one more in trench warfare. And what do I got left? I got 108 left. I mean, there's plenty of good things that you can put points towards in research here. Okay, but again, the Austrians have the same problem as the Ottomans. They've got too many priorities and not enough resources. So the big thing, as I've mentioned before, trench warfare and infantry weapons. After that is all of your things that affect your artillery. So you have artillery weapons, which improves the damage that they do. Gas and shell production improves how quickly they are resupplied, and then logistics increases the amount of shots that the artillery will have available to them on or how much they can be resupplied. Like right now, the maximum that the Germans can have is 7 shots with their artillery, and if their logistics are improved, then that number will increase. So the Austrians are even less right now because they don't even have any logistics levels right now. They're still working on it. Alright, so I got 108 left. I'm going to use that to finish mobilizing the Austrian fleet. Okay, maybe not. Oh, there's only 4 points left, so the light cruiser loses out. Do I have enough? No, I don't. So the reason that he's green is because I can get him an elite reinforcement. But I don't have enough production points right now to be able to do that. Alright, so we're done with the Austrians. These 2 German submarines, they just pulled into port, so there's nothing I can do for them. These guys have attacked, so I can't reinforce them. So let's look at research for the Germans. See if there's anything I want to do there. Spying and intelligence, I really should be putting into that right now. The sooner you can get that, the better also. But again, you got to have your priorities. And as usual, trench warfare, infantry weapons, artillery weapons, they take priority over everything else. So instead, what I'm going to do with the Germans, let's see what we got coming. So submarines, another dreadnought, only that one detachment. I need more forces along the Italian border. So we will buy that infantry corps, which pretty much uses up almost everything we got. I know I can buy a detachment, but I'm going to buy some more fighters because I don't remember seeing any fighters in there. Okay, that pretty much wipes out Germany's production points, spends all of their production points. All right. Okay, so there we have it. Not a lot going on this turn, but we were able to complete the encirclement of the Russian forces in Poland. It's a thin line. The Russians are most likely going to do everything they can to break that line. They will probably focus on the Austrian forces as they are technologically behind on the Germans, so it will be the Russians will have better odds against them. So I can expect that the computer's going to make attacks here against these two units. Most likely they're going to focus on the cavalry unit in order to try and open up the supply lines here. All right, so that is it for this turn. There's one more thing that I wanted to do. If you've made it, or two more things. If you've made it this far into the video, I haven't put you to sleep yet. Please go ahead and leave a like and go ahead and subscribe to help grow the channel if you haven't already. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, go ahead and drop them down there. Once I see them, I'll go ahead and get your response. And just a shout out to those folks in the UK and Poland who have actually been watching the series. Glad to have you on board. Um, Hopefully, I won't bore you away. And so that's going to be it for this episode. And I'll get another one out hopefully within the week. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.